What word do you have to give to our ladies?
Relative to what?
Anything, any word. Any word that you hairdressers.
Just any old thing.
I'd say the title of the podcast, which is perspectives,
Uh-huh.
because I think that our perspectives can change any situation. So when we look at, circumstances, different occurrences from different perspectives, then we are more compassionate. We're more better able to problem solve, to bring forth the solution. So perspective, like how are you looking at it? Because if you're only looking at stuff from one dimensionally, and only looking through the eyes of your feelings and not like the totality of the situation. Like what's your perspective, and what would somebody else's perspective be? So how can you kind of wrap your mind more around it to be able to to move forward effectively?
Right. That's like getting a
That's
doctor's, getting a second opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes when you find out, what the real details of the situation are, then that snaps your perspective totally, somewhere else. Like when you really realize, oh wait, I wasn't right.
That's true.
Right.
I was wrong, and I didn't have all the information, and I'm sitting here forming an opinion and a judgment, and I don't know everything.
Right.
So good.
That
Yeah,
false
that's
confidence.
good. That's good.
Yeah.
And you know what? Sometimes you're right. You can have it's amazing how sometimes you can have a forced perspective, because imagine someone getting a bad report, a bad health report, right? And then you begin to, have to, share that news, say with, different loved ones. And, just imagine, one of the loved ones, they're typically negative, or they typically don't look at things from the right perspective, okay? And so you don't typically tell them a whole lot,
Wow.
but because of this situation, you're kind of sharing that information. It's always amazing to me how, not all the time, but a great deal of the time, they change their perspective. Call so and so and so, and it's usually someone that can pray.
Right.
So sometimes you can have a forced perspective. And I've always thought that was really, really interesting. Sometimes, and again, certain individuals, by relationship, that they would be your go-to person.
Right.
Because of how they think, because of how, their foundation or whatever. But even they, okay, when you're at that place,
Right.
okay, it's amazing how it's like the only place I can go to is, isn't that amazing? So you can have sometimes a circumstances can force you to shift your perspective. So yeah, I like that. Yeah, check your perspective.